Okay, so what we're going to do today is the greatest integer function. What they're really called, don't get wrapped up in the fact that they're called greatest integer. It really has nothing to do with that. It basically has to deal with, it's a step function, and it can only be integers, okay? That's the biggest thing. It can only be an integer. So it can only be positive and negative integers. It can never be a fraction or a decimal, okay? And it looks like steps. That's what this looks like. So if we counted 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes, so it would be 4, negative 4. So if we put in, we're just going to pick numbers like we did yesterday for our absolute value. Remember when we did absolute value, we made a table and we plugged it in and we graphed those points yesterday? That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to make a table. And our function is f of x equals x. And we plug in negative 4 and we get negative 4. We're going to graph, and it becomes an open circle. Well, I'll show you because it will be easier to graph all of our points and then to show where it can be. But remember, there's going to be a gap because in the greatest integer function, you can't have any decimals. So you guys, in between right here, those are decimals, right? Those are all your fractions and your decimals, so it can't be any of those numbers. That's why it's a step function, because it can only be positive or negative numbers. So what I want to do is I want to do the example with you, not the recycling one yet, but I want to do a basic one with you. So come to example 5. So we would never ever put decimals in anyways. So when we do this, we're just going to make a table. And we're going to call it g of x, which is basically y. So remember, you guys, g of x, f of x, h of x, those all just mean functions, but they're also a y. And now, just like yesterday when we did our absolute value, remember that our x values only go from -7 to 7. So I need to be careful of what I pick so I can graph it on this graph. It doesn't mean those numbers don't exist. It just means for the graphing purposes, we can't use those. So -2 times -6 is 12. That doesn't work. -2 times -5 is positive 10. That doesn't work. -4 doesn't work. So we're going to use -3. So we're going to do -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. This one, unlike the absolute value, you can't skip numbers. You have to write them all, okay? Like yesterday we used, we did like 5, -3, -1, 0, 1, 3, 5. You can't do this in this one. You can't skip because it's a step function, so you need to see how it works. So now we're just going to put -3 into this. This right here, you guys, see this little box? That's how you know it's going to be a step function. Those little symbols mean step function. So this means a step function. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to put in -2 times -3. So what's -2 times -3? 6. What is -2 times -2? It is 4. -2 times -1? 2. -2 times 0? -2 times 1? -2 times 2? -4. And -2 times 3 is -6. Now, we're going to graph those points. And at all those points, they're going to be closed circles. That's the first thing you know. So, the first thing you need to know. Well, the first thing you need to know is that those little symbols around the x mean step function. The second thing that you need to know is we're just going to plot these points, and they should be closed circles. So, we're going to go to -3 up to +6. -3 to 6. Negative 2 to 4. Negative 1 to 2. 0 to 0. 1 to negative 2. 2 to negative 4. And 3 to negative 6. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to draw part of the line, but it's steps. So it's only going to go from, so this is negative 3, so we're going to go to negative 3 to 2, and we're going to put an open circle. Because now it jumps down to this next step. And then this next step, we go to the next one and we put an open circle. Then we go to the next one and put an open circle. And we're just going to that next integer. Now the problem, okay, so there's a problem that you can't really see, but those are open circles. Do you see how the step went from the one integer to the next? See how, like, this is a closed circle, so that's an open circle. This is a closed circle, so that's an open circle. Like, I'm going that direction, so if I just am going until I see the next integer. So, like, I drew a line from negative 3 to negative 2. At negative 2, it becomes an open circle to a closed. Open to closed, 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 and then open, and then you could see it's only going down, it's only going by one integer. So that's a step function. Okay, a little bit. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's do number 6. You don't have to flip your page. I flipped my page. Okay, so again, you guys see how it has those little bars around it? That's how you know it's a step function. So these little bars right here, you guys at home, those are step functions, and we're going to make a table. We have x and we have h of x. In order to see the steps clearly, those steps that when we draw the lines, you do not want to skip any numbers. So you don't want to go by odds or evens. You want to make sure you have a nice setup of numbers. So the smallest one that you can really do is, you can't really do negative 3. So I started with negative 2. And I just plugged it in, you guys. I just start with it. I just do a test run to see if I can graph it on my graph. And now I'm just going to count down. The thing that you need to know is it does not matter if they give you a fraction, you still have to make it move to an integer. Okay, so we're going to plug in, we're just going to plug it in like it's a normal function. It's just, what that means is that it's not going to be a line, you're going to have to make it a step. So that means step. So negative 2 minus 5. Negative 7. Negative 1 minus 5. Yep, 0 minus 5. Negative 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And 3 minus 5 is negative 2. You guys, you could keep going on. Like, you can see, right? You could do 4, 5, 6. You could do the entire thing. But you'll be able to see how it increases. So we're going to graph now. So we're going to go from negative 2 down to negative 7. Don't worry about the step. Let's graph first. Then we're going to do negative 1, 6. 0, negative 5. 1, negative 4. 2, negative 3. 3, negative 2. You can kind of see how it's going. Now, the difference is it looks like a line. Yes, all step functions should look like a line, but they don't include the decimals, so we have to put the step in. So we're going to draw the line this way, and then because negative 1 starts taking over, we're going to put an open circle. Then we're going to take it and we're going to put an open circle. So you see, I'm just drawing that one line from the closed dot, and then I'm making it open. So it becomes a step function. And the reason that that's an open dot is because it takes over at the next step. One, like on this step, -6 takes over. Here, -6 is not part of it. It takes over in the next step. So it's a step function, and we don't include any of the, again, fractions or decimals. You only take the integers. That's why it's called a step function. And it looks like a line, but there's steps. So you can only do this much in between. Let's go to number 5 on the workbook page. Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to do a table, and we're going to title it X and F of X. So I have X, and I have F of X. What is the smallest integer we can use on the X side to get us a good graph? -5. And then we're just going to count down. You guys can continue to go. We'll do one positive. And now we're going to plug this into the equation. And it's a step function because it says x plus 1. So -5 plus 1 is -4. -4 plus 1 is -3 plus 1, -2. -2 plus 1, -1 plus 1, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 2. So, let's graph this. So I had -5 what? -5, 4. So I'm going to count over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, correct? Is that where it starts? Open dot. I mean closed dot. Because that's where it starts. So we're going to graph all these points. -4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Down -2, correct? 1, 1, 2, down to -1. -1 is 0. 0 is 1. And then what did I say? 1 is 2. So you see that it's increasing, right? The line is increasing. So that means that's how your steps are going to go. And then we're going to draw a little line. And then I'm going to open a circle. The open circle goes underneath the closed dot. I'm hoping you guys at home can see this. So I draw the line and then an open dot. Line, open dot. Now, could you see how the rest of the steps are going to go? Like, so if you know this is 2, if that's an open circle, you know you would have a closed dot there, and then an open circle. Closed dot, open circle, closed dot. And I didn't have to do the rest of the table. That's a step function. See how it's stepping up? And you know it's increasing because your slope is increasing.